The search for gold was one of the biggest motivators during the age of exploration, and one of the most famous searches for the precious metal was for the city of gold, El Dorado. Of course, El Dorado was never found, but from the 16th to the 18th centuries, its location was shown on maps. So what gives? Was the city of gold discovered and the knowledge lost? Or did all of these cartographers make the same mistake? But first, today's sponsor. Our obsession with gold hasn't changed much since the age of discovery, especially since inflation is running rampant, essentially taking 9% of our money right out from under our noses. Gold has long been used to combat inflation, as it increases in value when the dollar gets less powerful. However, something gained even more value than gold the last time inflation was this high, appreciating an average 33% per year, which is incredible, and it's enough to even get Goldman Sachs talking about this asset, saying it's nearly essential for the next 10 years. What is it? Fine art. It sounds odd investing in fine art during a time like this, but don't just take it from me. Forbes says it has never been a better time to invest in art, and one of the heads of Bank of America is advising his clients to invest in art. And as I mentioned, Goldman Sachs has specifically named art as a way to protect your purchasing power in the future. So how do we invest in art ourselves without a lifetime of research and millions of dollars? With Masterworks. They split the paintings into shares so you don't need millions, and their team of art experts uses proprietary data to find artists with the greatest potential appreciation. Here's the proof. As recently as August, Masterworks sold a painting by Albert Olin for 33.1% net return to their investors. That's at the same time the stock market was down around 25% for the year. Of course, past performance is no guarantee of future results, but you can see why some of Masterworks' offerings sell out in just a few hours. There's even a waitlist to start investing with Masterworks, but you can skip it by using my link in the description for VIP access. The most famous expeditions to find El Dorado were those by Sir Walter Raleigh. Sir Walter Raleigh was an English adventurer, soldier, statesman, and a favorite of Queen Elizabeth I. Raleigh was knighted by the Queen in 1585 and was granted a charter to settle the New World, but the venture would end up failing. However, Raleigh fell out of favor with the Queen and was briefly imprisoned when she found out that he had secretly married one of the Queen's ladies-in-waiting, Elizabeth Throckmorton. In an attempt to regain his influence with the Queen, Raleigh set up an expedition to find the fabled city of gold, which was rumored to be located on the banks of a Lake Parime. Raleigh had heard the stories of El Dorado from prisoners captured at Port of Spain, and he combined these stories with another mythical lost city, Manoa. In 1595, Raleigh set off to find El Dorado. He was of course unsuccessful in finding the city, but he believed it was just out of reach. He wrote after the voyage, "I have been assured by such of the Spaniards as have seen Manoa, the imperial city of Guyana, which the Spaniards call El Dorado, that for the greatness, for the riches, and for the excellent seat, it far exceedeth any of the world, at least of so much of the world as is known to the Spanish nation. It is founded upon a lake of salt water of 200 leagues long, like unto Mare Caspium." This lake he was referring to was again Lake Parime. A little off topic, but still interesting, next to Lake Parime was allegedly the home of a tribe of headless men with faces on their chests. The following year, Raleigh sent his friend Lawrence Camise back to the region in another attempt to find the city of gold. Camise made minor advancements in the geographic knowledge of the area, but he failed to find the city. However, he also reported that indigenous people of Guyana traveled inland by canoe and land passages towards Lake Parime and El Dorado. This map is the product of these two expeditions. It's the earliest obtainable map to report the discoveries of Sir Walter Raleigh's voyages to the region. It was published in 1598 by Dutch cartographer Jodocus Hondius. It's unclear exactly how Hondius acquired this information. He had made contact with Sir Walter Raleigh while working for map publisher Edward Wright in London, but Hondius lived in Amsterdam at this point in time, and Hondius and Wright had a fallen out over a world map where Hondius had copied Wright's created projection. But maybe the two still corresponded, and Raleigh shared his newly acquired knowledge. Raleigh created a map in 1595 that was sent in a letter to Lord Cecil, which is now housed at the British Library, but no letter to Hondius has ever been found. It also may have been William Downe that shared the information with Hondius, whether directly or indirectly. Downe was the second in command on the expedition of 1596, and had created his own manuscript set of maps and descriptions of the voyage, and he was selling them late into 1596. But it also could have been a map and book printer that was known to get their hands on the information first. We may never know for sure. Raleigh made one last attempt to find El Dorado in 1617. This one ended terribly. His lifelong friend, Lawrence Camise, attacked the Spanish in violation of peace treaties with Spain and against Raleigh's orders. Raleigh's son was killed in the attack. Camise begged Raleigh for forgiveness, which he refused, and Camise committed suicide. On top of this, a condition of Raleigh's second release from prison the year prior was the avoidance of any hostility against Spanish colonies or shipping, and because of this violation, Raleigh was executed. But it didn't really matter if El Dorado was never spotted. El Dorado started popping up on maps throughout the first half of the 17th century, and the illustration of El Dorado's location on maps made many people think that the city of El Dorado's existence had been confirmed. Here it is on a 1621 map of the Americas by Dutch cartographer Willem Blauw. And again on this 1625 map by Hessel Gerrits. This map was copied by many other cartographers in the following years. El Dorado was still making appearances on maps at least until the mid-18th century, and its non-existence was not fully accepted until an expedition by Alexander von Humboldt conducted an extensive survey of the region between 1799 and 1804. The original El Dorado no longer appears on maps, but it left a lasting legacy. Today, there are nearly 50 cities and towns that share its name. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube members for supporting the channel, and thank you all for watching.